Hi guys, welcome to UKDiver. My name's Andy. I'm a BSAC open water instructor and BSAC advanced diver. Yes, I got it finished. So yeah, sorry guys for not posting a video in such a while, but I've been extraordinarily busy since we got back from Scapa. Work has been mega busy, and on a personal basis we've been mega busy as well. So yes, I passed my advanced diver, so it was a weekend at Stony Cove with the East Midlands regional coach, so just got the job. Hi Rowan. Just slipped it casually into the conversation halfway through. So yeah, thanks for the time, just getting that finished off, buddy. It was just sort of the rescue skills and the mass clear at 20 meters and all that jazz. I've been trying to get it done for sort of the last 6 or 7 months. It was supposed to be at the beginning of the year thing, but COVID happened and that was the end of that. So I guess all told, it's probably took me about 2.5 years to do. It's not a quick course, guys. There's lots of diving you've got to do. There's lots of you've got to plan an exped, and then you've got to plan a few other trips as well to sort of bed in them skills of dive planning. But it's definitely worthwhile. If you're at Dive Leader and have been there a little while, I would definitely say, yeah, go for it. Advanced Diver is a good qualification. It takes you to the next step, and then takes you to the next step in the type of diving you can organise, the really exciting stuff, the really, oh, look at that mark, let's go and do it, kind of diving. Yeah, absolutely 100%. If you want a video where I go into more detail about what you need to do, leave a comment down below. But other than that, check the bsac.com website and check out the Advanced Diver and sort of the blurb that's on there with it. But yeah, definitely, only bit of advice I'd say is get yourself a good advanced instructor that's going to go through most of it with you, because they can be a little bit like hen's teeth, getting an advanced instructor. What else has been going on? Well, was that last week, a couple of weekends ago, me and my mate Neil went and sat in a car park in Whitby for 2 days watching the rain, so that was very exciting. It wasn't for us really. So we've been doing a lot of diving off the East Coast recently, and the problem with the East Coast, it tends to be a one dive day. You get in the boat, off you go and do the dive and come back. There are no second dive sites, okay? Once the tide starts ripping, there's nowhere else to go. Inshore, it's just mud, okay, with all the wash, and that's why there's no shore diving near us. So it's a bit frustrating when you go out there and you've got 2 sets of divers. You've got to go in 2 waves. So one gets half of the slack water and the other group gets the other half of the slack water. And we thought, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do all of slack water? But for that, we'd need somebody on the boat who doesn't want to dive. And that's when the girls chirped in and said, oh, we could do that. So congratulations to Leslie and congratulations to Sarah on passing your BSAC boat handling course. We will be flogging you to death start of the next season. So hopefully that next spring's as nice as the spring that's just gone, and we're allowed to enjoy it this time. So yeah, it's going to be really nice to get the girls on the boat. Everybody can dive in and enjoy the whole of slack water, come up, get in, and then go home. And hopefully the girls can top up the tan while they're there as well. So it's win-win-win. So yeah, that's kind of what's kept me busy, guys. So again, apologies for no videos, but hopefully we'll remedy that going forward. The Scapa series has been ongoing. I've been editing those up. So I hope you've been checking them out. I'll leave a card link up here. If you've don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. We've actually got to the diving now, so quite exciting. So what are we talking about today? Well, today we're talking about second-hand dive gear, how you shouldn't poo-poo it because it could save you thousands. Okay, so I'm going to start by telling you about what I think you should be looking at buying secondhand. There is no need to buy brand new. Now, I've heard it all before of some, diving YouTubers on here. Well, you don't get warranties and that with second. No, of course you don't. But sometimes that doesn't really matter. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is cylinders, because I've had quite a few newbie divers saying, "Oh, I'm just going to buy new cylinders," and that's okay. If you want to buy new, there's absolutely no reason. Someone's got to buy new, otherwise all us that buy second hand won't have anybody to buy off. So that's fine. Don't let me put you off but I just think you can save a lot of money by considering second hand. Why can you buy a dive cylinder second hand? Because if it's in test, it's in test, okay? It's as good a quality as a new one, as in its structural integrity, as in the way it's going to perform underwater. It has to be tested by law. You're not allowed to fill the things unless it's got a test. So as soon as it's tested, it's good. So that's basically it. It's a metal bottle of air that has to be tested. So as long as the valve's good, you know, oh, well, it's all scratched and that, you know, well, you can go take it to CCT, link down below, in Selby, and they'll repaint the thing for you for 15 quid. 15 quid for a repaint. So even that, you know, it's not, you know, I'm going to take the girls in and have a repaint next time they need testing. But yeah, so there's no reason to spend 230, 240 quid on a brand new, I'm talking 15s here, on a brand new 15, when you can pick up tested cylinders. Okay, we can go on the Facebook groups right now and find a 15 tested for about 100 quid. Okay, so that's a saving of 120, 130 quid. Okay, and if that's not of interest to you, then you skip this video. Okay, just move along, move along. Okay, so here's a picture of the date on my twins. Now, as you can see, they were made in 1997, which makes them nearly as old as me. Don't laugh, that's just rude. But no, you know, they are 23 years old. 23 years old. Been to Scapa, fine. Tested, fine. Flew through the test, no problem. They're 23 years old. Okay, cylinders last forever, and as long as they're tested, they're absolutely fine. So yeah, if you have a look at this one here, this is my stage cylinder, which I didn't have any choice but to buy new because there just wasn't any around when I needed one. This one you'll see has got the manufacturing date stamp. Now, for people who are thinking of buying new, just a word of caution, okay? The test date starts from that manufacturing date, okay? Make sure you are getting one from a shop that turns them over pretty regularly. If you buy one from a shop that doesn't sell many, okay, then double check the manufacture date, because you might be thinking, oh, I'll buy a brand new cylinder and I'm not going to worry about all this testing malarkey for years. If that cylinder's been sat there for 18 months, 2 years, it could come back and you might be dealing with a testing regime a bit quicker than you thought. And I've known that to happen. So yeah, just be careful. Buying new is not always the panacea. Your test date doesn't start from when you paid for it. It starts from when they made it. So double check when they made it. Okay, so that is cylinders. Okay, buying precautions. Make sure the valve looks good. Okay, screw a set of regs into it. Make sure it's not been dropped, because sometimes if they're dropped, the valve can egg slightly, and then you can't screw your regs into it. And then the final thing is make sure it's pressurized. As long as it's pressurized, there's no moisture got into it, and like I say, your cylinders can literally go for decades, the same as mine have. So cylinders, definitely somewhere you can save some money. Okay, next thing where you can save some big cash is, and it might surprise you this, but it's actually these, your regs. Now, I understand that, you know, especially new divers might go, oh, that's terrible, you know, that's your life support system. Well, all your scuba kit's life support system. I don't wear a dry suit because it makes me look sexy.
I'm sexy and I know it.
It's because it stops me freezing to death when I'm diving. So, you know, everything's life support system, but this is an area where you can really save a lot of money. So I'm talking about getting yourself a decent set of Apex regs, okay? Apex are UK manufactured, you get UK parts, so if you are a UKDiver, Apex is really the brand that you want to be going for. Now, if you're in the US, you know, whatever the brand is over there, Scuba Pro, something, as long as it's sort of manufactured in your country, it's normally easy to get parts for, and that's really, it's not a snob, I'm not using American stuff or anything else. It's normally just the availability of bits, really. Okay, so this is an Apex DST, as some of you who've watched on my other videos will have seen. So this is the turret version, and this is what I wanted for my twin set, specifically because you can fifth port it. So I did these fifth ports myself. But if you buy this, okay, forget the hoses, just the first stage, yeah, with the fifth port, the cheapest I can find that is sort of 280 quid, okay, which is expensive because you need two of these, remember, for a twin set, you need two of these. So did I do that? No, I didn't, no. I bought this for £80 second hand, okay, but it needed some work, okay. This was an A-clamp version, Okay, so it wasn't DIN. So I had to pay the conversion kit, or to buy the conversion kit. That's 35 quid. I did the 5th port myself. The kit for the 5th port is 27 quid. Okay, so what we're talking, 18. So my maths is terrible at the moment. So 80, 27, call that 110, and then call it 4. So it's cost me less than 150 quid for this so far. Then I had to have it serviced, which cost me another 40 quid. So it's cost me 200 quid. So I've saved 85 quid. The other one I bought also second-hand, didn't need the conversion, so I saved even more money on that one because it didn't need the conversion kit, it was DIN already, so that saved me 35 quid. So I have saved quite a lot of money by buying second-hand. Now, for those detractors who will say, oh yeah, but there's no warranty with that, there's no guarantee. Whoa, of course there is. Don't talk out your absolute bottom, okay? By the time you've had this service by an Apex technician, okay, literally everything on the inside has been replaced and swapped, okay? The only thing you're getting back that you give to them is the outside, plus the spring on the inside. Everything else, diaphragm, high pressure seat, high pressure valve, all the O-rings, everything's been swapped. And guess what? That technician will warrant the work for a year. Apex warrants the kit for a year. So this does have a warranty on it, even though I've done most of the work myself, okay? And it's the same with second stages, yeah, okay? Basically, you take it in for a service, you give them that. The only bit you're getting back that you give them is the shell. All the internal gubbins has been swapped out. And with Apex as well, if you didn't know, the service kit for this one, which is one of their latest rigs, the XTX40, I've got an XTX200 is my primary. It's exactly the same service kit as there is in an ATX40 or an ATX50 or a TX50. Okay, all the internals are the same. It's the same service kit. Now you can read into that what you want. I read into it is that an ATX50 has the same performance as this, and all I'm buying when I spend so much money on this one is a shiny new modern case. Okay, so yeah, regs. Okay, buy this bit, okay, and do the bits yourself and get it serviced, and then spend the money you saved on some nice MyFlex hoses, which I certainly don't recommend that you buy secondhand. I don't think I'd buy hoses secondhand. They're supposed to be replaced every 5 years. MyFlex hoses have been certainly out more than 5 years. So if you were getting one, you don't know what's happened to it. You don't know how it's been treated, and it's just not worth the risk for the relatively inexpensive cost of them. Okay, when you're buying a lot of them, they soon add up at sort of 30 odd quid a pop, depending on length. But the money you've saved on your regs, spend on your hoses. So yeah, that's that. What else? Secondhand. I guess the next big purchase secondhand would be. Well, we can talk about dive computers. Dive computers. I didn't buy that second. I bought that new because that's what I wanted, and you don't see the OSTCs come up. But this is the one. So this is the one. This is what I've got. So this is the one I'm waving in front of you. But yeah, my first dive computer was some Leonardo Cressy something. Did me great for a couple of years. Then I upgraded to a Sunto Viper. That was a mistake. But it was okay, and it worked, and it did its job as best as it could. Same with the Leonardo. So all I'd say with that is make sure it works. Now, when these things fail, they tend to fail sort of spectacularly. So it's pretty easy to tell when they're not working. If it all lights up, it all seems to show the right numbers, then it is probably okay. The Sunto Nova, I think it is at the minute, the one you can get in the beautiful lime green. I think retails are getting on for 200 quid now. I don't know, but I've seen them knocking about for sort of 100, 120 quid. So I would imagine you're probably saving 80, 100 quid on buying a second-hand one. The only thing I'd say with a dive computer, puts some people off buying second-hand, is it'll inevitably have somebody else's dives on it. So the logbook will already have people's data on it. I know I had a look on the Viper, and I don't think you could clear that. I think you needed the cable for it, so that might be the case. But look into it, research it. It might not bother you. I think with the Leonardo, I bought it off one of the club members. I didn't care. It didn't really make a difference. I was still writing it all in that little red book that they give you at the start. So it didn't really make a lot of difference to me. But I can understand how, you want to make it feel yours. So just check. But yeah, second-hand dive computers, great. I mean, if you've got a bit more money as well, you can get some of the really, top-end computers, your Shearwaters now. You're seeing them coming up second-hand, with a substantial £300 or £400 saving with them being second-hand. So, if that's where you're looking, definitely the second-hand market's worth looking at. So yeah, that's dive computers. Apart from that, other peripherals, compass. Now, if I show you that, you see that's definitely second-hand. This might be the third bit of dive kit I ever bought, but yeah, it's clearly off the end of a console. And you know what? It's perfect. It works and it's ace. And when I teach navigation skills, you inevitably get some student that's got more money than sense and has bought one of these normally, and then it's on one of them bungee mounts, and they're like, oh yeah, don't all look good. I got my computer there, my compass there, and do. Bag of shite, really, because to really properly navigate with one of these, and it tells you in the book and it tells you in the manual, and they should have read it. Your compass has to be down the middle of your body, in front of your face. It's no good on your wrist, because then you're looking at it like this, off at an angle, okay, and that doesn't work. Similarly, if you've got it on, like a console like this, the hose is not going to be long enough to get it in front of you and hold it. So it's useless. So this actually, cruddy as it may look, is actually the best solution, because you just clip it off, have a look, oh yeah, swim into there, clip it back on, off you go, and it's where you need it to be. Yeah. So yeah, anything like that, again, just make sure it's okay, everything works, there's no cracks in it, it's full of oil. Torches, again, yeah, second hand. If that's what you can afford, or you can afford a much better second-hand torch than you could new torch, then yeah, go second-hand. Again, I didn't buy this second-hand. This was a present for me, but I wouldn't have any qualms about buying one second-hand. In fact, Dean, who you've met a couple of times, bought one second-hand, and that works like a champ. It's fine. The only thing I'd say with torches is just be careful if they are a sealed unit, okay, if you can't take the battery out yourself. Now, this one, you can. And the reason I'm saying don't buy a sealed unit is because what tends to go is the batteries tend to, sort of wear out over time. And this one's done exactly the same. But because this is a removable unit, it was just a case of, slicing through. You can see that's blue electrical tape I've got there, but it had some fancy shrink wrap stuff on when I bought it. So I just sliced through that, and it's literally, I think there's 3 AA cells. Yeah, I think they're AA, not AAA. 3 AA cells in each half. I think they cost us 12 quid off Amazon, and we just replaced them, and that's it, brand new, good as new. So yeah, if you've got some either fancy battery or a sealed unit, I'd be careful with that, because it might light up to start with, but in 20 minutes time it just might be dead. So that's the only thing I'd say be careful with. But if it's got user replaceable batteries or something like that, perfect, it should be fine. As long as the damn thing lights up, that's pretty much it. Wings, BCs, that kind of thing. Yeah, again, okay, from my point of view. So if you watch my Scapper kit video, I'll put a link up there. I talk about the kit that I'm going to take. So if you have a look at the wing and back plate that I've got, so that wing's a XD something or other, I can't remember what, but anyway, it's like 245 quid if you buy it new. Got that second hand if a guy's going to have to rebreather, 100 quid, so I saved myself 145 quid there. The custom diver's backplate, backplates, they're a bit of metal. As long as it's the right shape and it's got the holes in the right places, there's not a lot else that can go wrong. I bought that for 30 quid. Okay, 30 quid. I mean, the stainless steel backplates have shot up in price recently. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a shortage or something like that, but they've rocketed. And so they I think, you're talking about 150 quid now. 30 quid, 150 quid. I know what I'd rather do. It goes on your back, nobody sees it, who cares? So yeah, that's second hand. Same with BCs, really. It's a bag of air in a bag. So as long as it blows up and it stays blown up for 24 hours, you're probably good. The thing with BCs, okay, be a bit more careful on the straps, the zips, because it's all them kind of things that kind of go. And the problem is, once they've gone, you can't do anything. That's why I don't like BCs. You know, it's chuck the whole thing away or sell it to some newbie that doesn't know what they're looking at. You know, you've got to replace the whole damn thing. Not ideal. I'll always advocate, you know, get yourself a little single cylinder wing, get yourself a back plate, and you know, that will grow with you no matter where you go with your diving. BC is always a bit of a pain, but if you must insist on getting one, then, you know, check it out. Just check the, you know, the wear points, shoulder straps, zips, you know, clips, all that kind of stuff is there. But apart from that, as long as it holds air, you know, the rest of the bits are pretty generic. The K inflator, you know, your inflator, it's pretty generic end, 30 quid. Dump valves, again, pretty generic. You know, you can buy them for a couple of quid. So nothing too much to go wrong as long as they've got massive slashes or gashes or anything like that. So again, save yourself a fortune, buy a second-hand BC. You know, unless you really, really want a brand new one. So I think that's probably it. What else can we talk about? Buy second-hand fins, I guess. Yeah, fins you should buy. I don't care whether you buy new or you buy second-hand, but get yourself some RK3s and have done with it. Okay, there is no better fin in the world right now, and you don't need to be buying anything else. So just buy yourself some of them and you're done with it. Okay, that's as much as I've got to say on fins. So that's what I think is quick wins to save yourself quite a lot of money. So let's talk about some stuff that I'd say, yeah, don't buy secondhand. Okay, now masks. Okay, there's lots of spit going on, or there used to be. Maybe not some more. Well, not as much now in COVID times, but when COVID finally goes, you can guarantee there's going to be spitting again because you've always got it with you. So it's a bit grim, isn't it? So wearing somebody else's mask that they've gobbed in, Christ knows how many times. For me, ick. So I would say buy a new mask, but irrespective of whether you buy new or second hand, the main thing is it must fit. Okay, there's nothing worse and there's nothing going to ruin your diving really quick than a dribbly, leaky, horrible fitting mask. So I really don't care whether it's new or second hand. Like I say, my preference is always new. I think it's worth spending the money on, but it must fit. Okay, so that's that. Personals. Okay, hoods and gloves. Again, it's kind of like wearing somebody else's underwear. You know, if you buy second hand, if you're okay with that, fine. But again, you know, neoprene, it kind of loses its squidgy after a bit, and I guess some of its thermal properties, and it wears and stuff like that. And you know, these things are not cheap. You know, these £50 for a pair of gloves. The hood I've got is waterproof, saying it's 50, so that's 100 quid. So I can understand the temptation to buy second hand. I mean, you know, buy a cheaper version maybe. I don't know, these keep me really warm and I like them, and I will buy these for as long as they're on the market. But yeah, I'd definitely buy them new personally. Now I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek because I actually bought these second hand. See, I'm going to fess up, but they're only just second hand. I mean, like really, really just second hand. So again, my friend Dean, who you've seen on a couple of videos, bought these before he bought his dry suit. Now, when he got his dry suit, he got the Kubi dry glove system fitted with it. So he wore these for like 20 minutes in A-Taker just to try them with his dry suit. Didn't like them, so I bought them for half price off him. And they'd had 20 minutes use. So I was comfortable with that, and I think you probably would be too, for that kind of discount with that much use. But anyway, generally, no. Okay, so now I get to kind of the difficult bit, because I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm torn, frankly, what you should do. So let's talk about dry suits and undersuits. Now, undersuits, again, that really is like wearing somebody's pants. So if you're happy with a good wash, you are happy wearing somebody else's undersuit that's second hand, then that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that. Fit, again, is more important. You don't want it that's going to restrict you, because your dry suit's going to do enough of that anyway. So I would err on the caution of a smidge bigger than a smidge too small. But personally, yeah, I'd buy new. Mine was new. The dry suit is the big issue, isn't it? Because it's so expensive. Average quality dry suit new is going to cost you sort of 600 quid. and then you can go right up to sort of 1700 quid if you want the all singing all dancing Otter Atlantic, or you know, O3's equivalent if you want to go down the neoprene route. Okay, so it's a fair chunk of change. Now, okay, so let's talk about me. My first dry suit was an ex-school suit. Okay, I bought it for 250 quid. It was the only one second-hand I could find in my size. Okay, because that's the other thing. If you're an odd size, if you're super tall or you're super wide like me, you're not going to find many second-hand suits that are even going to fit. Okay, if you're average size, you're going to have more choice in the second-hand market. But if you're an odd shape, sorry, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. But anyway, so I bought this school suit, 250 quid, and it did me 3 years, and I don't think I had a dry dive in it. It was hideous. Just the crotch area just leaked from day one to the day I cut it up to use for training aids, which was a very happy day. But yeah, so it was just, and I had new zip in it. I mean, okay, zips need replacing, you know, it's sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 years anyway, as long as you look after them. But yeah, new boots, adjusted. It went in numerous times to try and have this bloody leak sorted, but we just could never find it. And then I finally stumped up the money to have a made-to-measure one by Otter, and it revolutionised my diving. My trim was better, my buoyancy was better because it fit me. And it was comfortable to wear, and more importantly, finally dry. I even did a little dry ball dance when we were in Swanage, which was the first time I used it. My wife's laughing in the background because she remembers that day vividly. But yeah, so it's one of those things. A bad fitting dry suit will do nothing but bad things for your diving, and you won't enjoy it half as much. But do I say to you, go out and spend £600, £1,000 on a dry suit? If you've got the money, yeah, you should, because it will make life so much easier for you. But I fully understand if you want to rent to start with, or buy a second-hand one. Again, try and get the best fit you can. But I fully understand, you know, especially if you're not 100% sure if UK diving's for you yet. You know, a new made-to-measure dry suit territory is a lot of money to spend on something that you might go, do you know what, this isn't for me, because there's no resale value in them either, because as soon as you put made-to-measure in front of an advert, that basically means, well, it's not going to fit me because it was made to fit you, which is true. So you will lose at least 50% of the retail value, or you know, the price you paid for it if you try and sell it secondhand. So a really difficult one. Buying tips with buying a secondhand dry suit: take somebody that knows what they're looking at. Okay, if you're pretty new to diving and this is your first suit, please, Christ's sake, A, join a club, and B, take somebody from that club, your dive officer, your training officer, somebody that knows what they're looking at with dry suits, because very few people decide to get rid of a dry suit if they're still diving, because it's fine. Okay, just another, it's going to have something wrong with it. It's going to leak. It's going to have something wrong with it. So you know, that's fine. You know, it's not a problem as long as you know about it. Take somebody that knows what they're looking at so you don't get scammed. And then finally, I think the other thing I'd say is be realistic about it. If that dry suit's 400 quid, then you need to be looking at it as a 600 quid dry suit, because like I say, the chances are you're going to have something changed, tweaked, repaired, something like that. So, you know, be realistic. Is it worth spending 400 quid on that second-hand dry suit, or is it worth thinking, well, it's going to cost me another 200 quid in parts in the next couple of months anyway, so do I just save up the money and buy myself a seaskin or something like that that's new, made to measure, and is, you know, of better quality than you get second-hand. It's difficult because it means you can't dive for those 2 months, okay? And that was the problem with me. I wanted a suit now. By the time I'd saved up, or would have saved up enough, I'd have, you know, not been diving for a year. So I understand, and it's a difficult one. So I think I'm going to leave that one to you. Buy the best that you can afford when you can afford it, if that makes sense. So I hope that's been useful for you guys. That's my take on it anyway. Don't believe all the shops. You've absolutely no need to buy everything brand new. Any comments or moans or anything like that, leave them down in the description below. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.